Hello and welcome to week 2 of Education 512. It is currently Thursday morning, so I have read some of your guys' opening things and graded them. So you'll notice that I tend to grade as they come in, and then I'll send out the rubric when everything's done. So what I would like you to do is take a moment to reflect. And there's a scientific reason behind how being thankful is beneficial. The benefits of a gratitude type practice is that you improve your sleep quality, you improve your emotional regulation, you increase feelings of happiness and positive mood, you foster hope for the future, you reduce stress, burnout, and symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder, and you increase resilience. This is from Harvard Health. I want you to reflect on one thing you are thankful for and keep gratitude at the forefront of your thoughts if you can this week. I'm sorry, my dog is trying to push me over right now, so I need to give him a little bit of attention. For this week's learning, as always, we are going to try to grow the community of learners while implementing the 3 signature practices, which is a warm welcome, engaging activities, and an optimistic close. We're going to work to fully understand the upcoming readings, discussion board posts for the week, as well as be introduced to the ethical communication assignment. In the discussion board posts, reflect utilizing the Johari window model and share connections of ethics in your teaching practice. In our discussion board, ethical behavior was associated with a few key themes: fairness, honesty, competence, dialogue, equity, concern for others, and seeking understanding through a trauma-informed lens. So I want you to think about what happens when those themes clash with each other. For example, fairness. What if fairness and equity clash? How do we practice these values in an infinitely complex world? What do you do? Just think about that a little bit, because a lot of times you want one or more of these, and they aren't always in agreement over what should happen in any given situation. So looking ahead to the discussion boards, discussion board 1 is on the Johari window, which is an internal, external impressions, reflections, understandings, and beliefs. It is a tool that you can use both for leadership and for reflection upon ethical dilemmas. It also has implication for your cohort's shared identity. So discussion board 1, the Johari window, when you open it up, there should be a link to the reading right there for you. This model is used to increase feedback of support and self-disclosure, thus enhancing communication and educator self-awareness, success. The model is based on 2 concepts. Trust can be acquired by revealing information about yourself to others, and by learning about yourself from others. Each individual is represented by the Johari model through 4 quadrants, or as they put it, window panes. Each of the window pane denotes personal informations, feeling, motivation, and whether that information is known or unknown to oneself or others. So for discussion board 1, after the reading, I want you to post your responses to these 3 questions. Make sure that you cite the reading and any other sources you use, and then dialogue with at least 2 cohort colleagues. Discussion board 2 is going to be your first weekly learning activity. For this discussion board, you will create in your own words a personal belief statement about your teaching and learning. This is not what others believe, but your own beliefs. You may find using I believe statements will help you brainstorm to get started. Once you've finished writing your statement, make sure that you respond to 2 peers. In this discussion board, the weekly learning activity, you will not need citations, as your philosophy of education does not need to cite other things, and your responses to peers can, but they do not need to. You can attach or insert it as either a Word document, or cut and paste it from a Word document, or type it right into Blackboard. That is completely up to you. Just make sure that you double check that it is visible to others. Next, you're going to start thinking about your ethical communication assignment. This is due at the end of week 3. And the purpose of this assignment is to promote ethical and professional communications by educators and administrators. So what I want you to imagine is that you have been put in charge of a training of some sort for your peers or for your administrators about how to ethically communicate. I want you to design a 4 to 8 minute video or podcast using whichever platform you would like, as long as I can see it, that educates and promotes ethical communication in education settings, including the use of digital content. You should incorporate ethically sourced media and how you assess the source as a graduate researcher. So the idea there is that you find sources to use, you cite them correctly, and you make sure that they are reliable and that they weren't somehow put together in an unethical way. For example, there are some research studies that were done in the 70s and 80s that definitely wouldn't pass any review board now. So if you were to use those later, you definitely want to address the fact that the study and how it was done was not ethical. And then when you talk about how you assess the data, in general, using only one source isn't a great idea. You want to have multiple sources that corroborate with each other. The intended audience for this presentation could be students or other educational professionals. So you should design an audience-appropriate assessment over the content presented in the video or the podcast. Make sure that you use APA format for a works cited list at the end of the presentation. I recommend just attaching the assessment separately. That tends to work best. If you want, you can also attach your works cited separately, but it's also fine if it's a slide at the end of your presentation. You do not need to read your references out. Just leave them up there for, at least 10 seconds so I can pause it if I need to. A couple other updates. As I mentioned in the last video, the week 7/8 assignment is still up in the air. I am communicating with the other professors who teach this course as well as the program chair, and we are deciding what we are going to do. At this time, the most likely option is that it's going to be due week 8, and that it will be either a presentation or your choice between a presentation and a paper. That's where things are leading right now. I will keep you up to date as I learn more. So for our optimistic close, what is one word or phrase from learning this week that captures your perspective or application? I would like you to put that in the instructor's opening remarks. And as I already noted, I'm working with the program chair and other professors on clarifying the final assignment for you guys. I hope you all have a great week and keep up the great work.